So hello, thank you again, everybody, for joining tonight for our office hours for the pre-work portion of the application to our program. My name is Mary Alice Moore. I'm class coordinator with Code the Dream. I've been working with them for several years, and I was a student with them and a mentor with them before I'm in my current role. So just to give you a little bit of background as to who I am within the organization. We're a nonprofit organization based out of North Carolina in the United States, but we have students across the United States and across the globe. We do have a handful of international students in our classes currently. The application process, I'm sure you all are already familiar with that part because you've already completed your application, hence how you got the email to be able to know to join this call tonight. So the portion of the application process that we're in the middle of right now is the pre-work portion. So all applicants, whether you're applying for the intro level entry kind of beginner class, or whether you're applying to one of the advanced classes, which are React or Node Express, then you'll do a pre-work assignment. And that's just for us to be able to gauge your comfort level with our class format. So we're a flipped classroom model, which means you'll be going through lesson materials, tutorials, coding assignments on your own, but you'll have access to synchronous events where you can meet with a developer live on a call together at the same time. So that way you can get any questions answered about the materials that you're learning. So that's why we have this pre-work set up this way for the intro level, to see if you're comfortable with that class format of working through a tutorial yourself and then building code based on what you've learned from your tutorial. So the intro level pre-work is going to be creating either a drawing or an animation using JavaScript. You go through the Khan Academy tutorial first to be able to get the groundwork or the basics information that you need to be able to build what you're asked to build for the assignment portion. You do not have to have all of the Khan Academy tutorial committed to memory. All of the concepts you see in Khan Academy will be taught more in depth within the class itself. This is just sort of a beginner introduction to some of those concepts for you to be able to kind of work with it and see if you like it. For the advanced class pre-work, you're going to show us that you already have the knowledge in JavaScript, in HTML, in CSS, and in using API calls. So that way we know that you're at the level to be comfortable to start in an advanced class. You don't have to have it terribly fancy. It doesn't need to be, lots of bells and whistles. It can just be a static HTML page that has a little bit of navigation to be able to show characters and movie titles from the Star Wars franchise. There's an open source API that has a database with all of like the movie titles, character names, starships, planets, all kinds of things from that Star Wars movie fandom franchise. And so you use an API call to get that data and then present it on your static site of being able to see like a list of planets and a list of characters or something along those lines. All right, so I want to go ahead and give you all visuals on this just so that way you can be comfortable with where to go once you have that pre-work link, and then we'll go from there. So let me share screen really quick. All right, can everybody see that okay? Just throw a quick thumbs up reaction or nod. Wonderful, thank you all. So this is the page that you'll go to when you click the link in your email. It's just a main landing page for the pre-work. Regardless of whether you're doing the intro pre-work or the advanced pre-work, you'll wind up having about 15 to 20 hours worth of time that you'll be putting in towards the project on average. Some people spend a lot more. Some people, it's not as complicated for them because maybe they've learned bits and pieces of what they need to know already. And so they just have to fill in the gaps to be able to get the assignment complete. But on average, it's about 15 to 20 hours worth of work to be able to get your tutorial and or your pre-work assignment completed and turned in. The deadline is April 23rd, so be sure to get it into us by April 23rd. We start the review process on Monday, the 24th, to be able to start taking a look at everybody's submissions. Okay, so the first question you'll probably have when you hit this page is, well, which one do I choose, the intro to programming or the advanced classes? Because I know a lot of you have probably applied to any classes, all classes that we offer, whatever the case may be. So the easy way to answer that is if you're already familiar with or comfortable with JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and API calls, Even if you haven't done a lot with those, if you're kind of generally familiar with a lot of the concepts within those 4 areas, do the advanced classes pre-work. If any of those 4 things sounds foreign to you, or like, I've never covered that, I'm not really sure what she means by that, go ahead and do the intro to programming pre-work. Now, this doesn't mean that you're committed to one. So if you start looking at the advanced classes pre-work and you're like, this still just feels a little bit more than what I can do at my current skill level, that's fine. Stop what you're doing with the advanced pre-work, pivot, and go ahead and do the intro pre-work instead. You only need to submit one pre-work assignment, regardless of what you're applying for. If you want to apply for an advanced class, you do need to do the advanced class work in order to apply and be considered for that class. You can do both if you want to, but you only have to do one of the 2 pre-work assignments. If we only receive the intro to programming pre-work assignment for you, even if you've applied for an advanced class, you'll only be considered for the intro class. I'm going to take a moment to pause real quick. Did anybody have any questions about that process up to this point? Yeah, Drew, if you want to go ahead and unmute and ask your question, or put it up in the chat if you can't get to your microphone or something.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Hi. So my doubt is, I might have applied for all like intro and advanced in the application, and so I should only submit the intro pre-work, right?
If you've applied for intro and advanced, take a look at the advanced pre-work assignment first. Like, just read through the instructions. You don't have to start building any of the advanced pre-work assignment,
Okay.
but at least take a look at the instructions and see if you feel comfortable with it. If you, in looking through the instructions, you're like, yeah, I can build what they're asking me to build, then go ahead and do those. And that way, will receive your advanced pre-work assignment, you'll be considered for the advanced classes. If you take a look at the advanced class pre-work and you're like, no, this is more than I can handle, I'm not sure what they're asking me to do here, then do the intro pre-work and you'll be considered for the intro class.
Mm-hmm. And can you let me know what the other concepts and technologies that are in the intro and advanced?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and take a look at those really quick. Let me just close that out real quick. So for the intro class assignment, when you click on, sorry, hold on, let me scroll to the top. There we go. When you click on the intro to programming class pre-work, for example, then it'll give you, brief information, and you click this link to the questions assignments, which will pull up this new page. Same thing for the advanced. When you click the advanced one, it'll give you information about it, link to the assignment here. So you click the link to the assignment and it'll take you to pre-work for the advanced classes. So for the intro programming pre-work, you've got 3 parts: preparation, tutorial, and demonstration. Preparation is just watching a video about the preview of like kind of what we're covering now. So if you're in attendance tonight, then you don't need to watch this. If you forget something we talk about, you can always go back to this video. But preparation is just watching videos, reading articles about growth mindset. It'll probably take you about half an hour to an hour to go through those things. The tutorial is the biggest bulk of time. So you'll do a Khan Academy tutorial. There's screenshots for how to sign up for all of that process. And then the tutorial itself, we also have screenshots and videos to kind of help walk you through. So the first several of these, like task 1 of 3, is just to sign up for it. And it walks you through that process. And then we show you pictures of the dashboard, so that way you know how to get around within that tutorial for being able to go through like the intro to programming, drawing basics, coloring, variables. You'll go through each of those little lessons within the intro to JS drawing and animation. So just follow the guide as closely as you can that's on that instruction page. It helps answer a lot of questions that we get from a lot of applicants. And then the third part of it is actually building some kind of image or animation. It doesn't have to be an animation where things are moving, but it should be something that meets the requirements. And the requirements are that it should have a conditional, a loop, and a function. And we've got that all defined here as far as what those things mean. An example of what we usually see that's sort of middle of the road. This is a very simple animation that students have, that a student had submitted last time, where it's just clouds moving away from a sun. You can get as creative as you want to, or you can just be very plain and simple and do what makes sense to you based on the information you get from the Khan Academy tutorial. We give you what's called boilerplate code, which is a starting code that you work with, just so you can see kind of how the space that you're building that animation or that drawing in works. And again, the video that's on the instructions will kind of guide you through it as well too. Leave the function setup and leave just this first line function draw alone. But all of the code that's in here, the background fill, ellipse, 2 circles, and this whole section, 2 circles, all of that you can rewrite and make it your own. We just have it here to demonstrate this is what it does. So for example, we've got an ellipse, which is sort of a circle shape there. If you were to change one of the dimensions of it and hit save, and then come on, go ahead and hit save. Oh, of course, it's going to have me sign in. Sorry about that. Let me just sign in quick. There we go. Okay, so I changed the value, and then when I save it, come on, nothing ever behaves when you want it to. There we go. When I hit save, it changed the shape of one of those circles to something else because I changed a value. Once you go through the tutorial, it'll make a little bit more sense as far as what these numbers mean and what these words mean and why you write them that way, all of that kind of stuff. But you'll want to create something completely new. You don't want to send in the boilerplate code to us. So you'll rewrite from basically from line 13 here all the way to the end. You'll rewrite it to be something that creates something unique that you'd like to draw. Hopefully this is helpful and not becoming overwhelming at this point. For the advanced classes, so that was the intro pre-work, is creating a drawing or the animation. For the advanced classes, it's using the open source API for Star Wars, and we've got the link for that located in the resources section. So GitHub resources, in the demonstration section. If you need any help with GitHub or JavaScript or API fetch, then all of that information is available there if you need it. But the demonstration portion for the advanced class is where we've got the instructions. So you'll use just this one of these APIs to be able to get that Star Wars data. You can build it any way you want. We've had some students, some applicants in the past actually build it in React because they're going for the Node class and they already know React. So you can build it in React. You can use bootstrapping for your styling if you want to, or you can just keep it very simple and just have a single HTML page with a JavaScript file linked to your HTML page and a CSS file linked to create your styling. So it doesn't have to be anything really over the top fancy or anything like that. I did pull up somebody who did do a little bit of a fancier one just so you can kind of see a visual of what it should look like. Obviously, this is a little bit fancier because they put in an image in the background and that kind of a thing. But the main takeaway is you should have a site that you can click a link and it'll list, and of course, this is going to go slow because I'm on Zoom, but you could click a link and it'll list characters for you. And then click films and it'll list the films for you. It's just taking it forever to be able to load, to be able to show the example. There it goes. So it doesn't have to be anything particularly fancy, but you need to have at least 2 points like characters and films or films and starships or whatever that you're referencing and displaying on your page. Hopefully that's not too overwhelming. I know that I've got some questions in the chat. Let me go over those really quick. And actually, sorry, Nikisha, you had a question. Go ahead and unmute and ask your question. I'm sorry it took so long to see that.
No problem. So I believe you've already answered this, but I'm just going to double check. So what if I have just like my own pet project website? It's a basic I call it a bare bones website. That's like HTML and I think CSS. Am I allowed to the guidelines listed for the advanced class and then
You were cutting in and out a little bit, but I think I get your gist. If you already have a site that is meeting the requirements or the expectation of where you're using an API call to be able to display multiple endpoints of data on your site you've already built, I think that should be fine. And you're welcome to share that. Actually, I think we might have just lost her because I just saw her name pop off the list. But for anybody else that might have had the same question as Nikisha, yes, if you have a previous site, that you're going to use for the advanced application, that's fine. You can do that. Just make sure that you are using an API source, that you're hitting 2 endpoints, and that all of your code for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is clean. Were you able to catch all of that, Nikisha? I think you kind of cut out and cut back in during the call. Did you hear my answer okay?
Yes, I heard you the
Okay.
whole time. I was cutting out, so I'm not sure why, but yes. So you answered my question, because I already have something that it's one of those side projects that I kind of abandoned and I just picked it back up. So I haven't really done much with it yet. So all I'd have to do is incorporate the JavaScript and the API. So I was just wondering. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm glad I was able to answer your question. All right, let me take a look at some of these questions that popped up in the chat, make sure I'm answering those for everybody too. If only the advanced class assignment is submitted, will that be also considered for the intro level if the submission ends up not being good enough? Yes, that's a great question. Thank you for putting that in the chat. So if you attempt the advanced class pre-work, submit the advanced class pre-work, you do have an option on that form that you complete saying, if I'm not up to the level that I need to be for advanced, can I be considered for intro? And just mark yes or no. If yes, you would like to be considered for the intro class. If you're not quite at the level you need to be for advanced, then we will put you in with the intro group. And based on what your code's looking like and everything, then we'll consider you for the intro class if you're not at the level you need to be for getting into the advanced class. And then there was another question about, when is the next advanced class starting? So let me go ahead and actually minimize this and I'll show you. Our schedule looks really complicated and intimidating, but it's for the entire year of 2023. And it looks more intimidating than it is, I promise. So all of the classes here, we've already started. The ones that you all are applying for now start May 31st. So that's going to be the Echidna Node class, the Emu React class, and the Frayer intro classes. So the next classes that we'll have available will be the intro class titled Ganymede, which is going to start September 13th, 2023. And then all 3 of our advanced classes will be available starting September 27th, 2023. The application for these fall classes will open in June 2023. So I just wanted to put that out there for anybody that might have questions about that. If you are kind of in the in-between level, this happens a lot as far as if you're kind of in the in-between level for not quite being ready for advanced, but most of the things in the intro class, then we can try and expedite it for you. So for example, we just are having an intro class starting April 12th that I've already had one student that even though the class hasn't started yet, they've already turned in like 8 or 10 of the intro assignments because they know a lot of the material and they were able to get through it quickly. So they'll have the opportunity to apply for and join the May classes, even though they're starting the intro class technically officially in April. So if you are able to work ahead through your intro class, then you could potentially join an earlier advanced class. Otherwise, what usually happens is once you complete the intro class, so for example, if you get accepted into that May 31st Frayer intro class, then you would take these September 27th, because those are the next advanced classes that are offered after your intro class ends. Since the intro class is starting the same time as the advanced class and we don't have any others that are starting in between, then you'll either have to join late with one of the advanced classes that started in May, if you're able to catch up and get things knocked out quickly, or you'll just need to wait until the September one. Yeah, it's kind of an unusual spot because of how our calendar up to this point in the year has worked out. Hopefully that helped answer the question. I think Anna had that question about being able to advance more quickly. And then, I think Christian also had a question. Let's see here. Can we apply to the advanced?
Yeah, can I add to the question about intro? Because I'm not beginner. I have programmer education, but it was like 20 years ago. I used to do websites and I didn't program 20 years. Right now, I just do code review for automation, and I'm not a beginner, but I'm not an advanced. And this is why I'm asking. Maybe if you're saying that tomorrow starts some intro, I can join intro and then I can do simultaneously intro with one group and advance for another one. This way I can finish intro faster and catch up with advanced. Is it possible or not?
Regardless, we would still need to
need to
see
see
your
your
pre-work
pre-work
assignment
assignment
submitted, Anna.
Anna.
I think
I
you'd
think you'd
probably be better off doing the advanced pre-work assignment, because it sounds like your knowledge level will probably get you there. And if there are any API points that you're confused about or struggling with,
Yeah, this is my point. Yeah.
then the resources here in the part two section of the
section
advanced pre-work should help give you an idea as far as what you need to build to meet that requirement.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, and then Christian had a question in chat. Can we apply to the advanced course after we finish our intro course? Absolutely. So once you complete an intro course, you'll submit a final project to show that you've learned everything from the intro course. And when you submit that final project, you just let us know what advanced class you want to take next. As long as your final project meets the requirements of what we expect for that final project to be, then you automatically get accepted into your advanced classes. We do usually give priority to intro graduates into advanced classes, but we're also expanding the number of students we're accepting into our program. So even if you didn't take an intro class with us, there'll still be space for you as long as your pre-work assignment is sufficient to be able to join an advanced class. There was another question off of that too. What makes an applicant stand out in the pre-work assignment for the intro class? We have had some pretty interesting ones. I think the biggest thing is attempting, even if it's not as successful or as fancy as you might like it to be, attempting to do a drawing or an animation that is unique from the ones that you're asked to do in Khan Academy. So Khan Academy has you draw, like, I think, food items on a plate, or like a snowman or something that's kind of, or a little car that moves across the screen, that kind of a thing. Doing something a little bit fancier, or kind of combining those ideas into a more complex drawing or animation, can give you a little bit of an edge for the intro class. Let's see here. We had another couple questions in the chat. Information about career services that might be provided by Code the Dream after finishing the advanced course. Yeah, that's a great question. So our advanced classes right now are 17 weeks long. You have about a week and a half gap, and then you start what's called practicum, which is about a 2-month period when you're working with at least 4 other students from your class grouping, to be able to work in a small group to learn development, technology, and workflow. So you'll build an app together in a small group project. At the end of the practicum, anybody that is work authorization eligible in the United States can apply for the apprenticeship program. And the apprenticeship is a paid apprenticeship with our organization on our development shop side of our organization. So we offer these classes through CTD Learns, and then we have the CTD Labs side of our organization where we're building sites and products for clients. So you'd apprentice by working on one of those real world projects for about 9 months to a year is how long you would work as an apprentice. And you are compensated, you are paid with benefits during that time, as long as you've got your work authorization to be able to do that. And then folks who are apprentices, we have a pretty intensive program that we do to help with the job application process and get their foot in the door with companies. But we're also working regularly on our partnerships with other companies in the industry, so that way they recognize the quality of the graduates that are coming out of our program, to help give you an edge, saying, oh yeah, I was educated with Code the Dream. So they know that, okay, this person's going to know what they're doing. Hopefully that helps answer your question, Mohammed, but if I left anything out, or if that wasn't a clear enough answer, then just let me know. There's another question too from Drove. The advanced class starts in the fall or summer. So if you start the May 31st intro class, then your advanced classes will start in September 23. If you apply for and are accepted into the May 31st advanced classes, then you'll start the advanced classes May 31st with this application round. Hopefully that helped answer the question. And then Carly, you've got a question as well. Would you like to unmute and share?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sorry to ask again for you to just reiterate about doing the pre-work, because I also was wondering if, because I understand you explained it, but can you explain it again of whether or not we have the option to do both pre-works, because you did mention about in-betweeners, and I would consider to be in that category. So I just wanted to ask or just explain again. Or elaborate.
Yeah, absolutely. So anybody that feels like they're an in-betweener, as we're calling it, I would recommend taking a look at the instructions for the advanced pre-work assignment first. So that's going to be this page here, pre-work for advanced classes. And on the main landing page, it's this option on the right. Take a look at the instructions for that first and see if you feel comfortable with what it's asking, or go ahead and start to make an attempt, but don't lose too much of the time that you have, since assignments are due by the 23rd. Don't dig too deeply in it to where you've cut into your time of being able to accomplish an intro level assignment. So read through the instructions first. If you feel like you're comfortable trying to create what we're asking you to create, then go for it. If you're like, this feels like it's too much, I don't think I can get that built in that time frame, then abandon that and switch and go to the intro to programming pre-work, which is just doing the JavaScript drawing or animation. Does that help, Carly? Did that answer your question?
Yes. So essentially, just we're encouraged to turn in only one of the pre-works, not both.
Correct. Yeah, you do not need to spend your 2 weeks worth of time on 2 assignments. We only need 1 assignment from you. Go for the more advanced one that you can if you're able to.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Sure thing. And then we had another question in chat, when the opening for applying to the advanced classes are. So if you're at a level that you would potentially be in an advanced class and you applied for one of the advanced classes this round, you would do the advanced pre-work. You would start the advanced class May 31st. If you're applying and wanting to start the intro class on that May 31st date, then the intro May 31st students advanced classes would start in September 2023. Did that answer your question, Adali? Hopefully I'm getting your name right too. Okay, awesome, thanks. All right, did anybody need to visually see anything else? Because if not, then I'll go ahead and stop screen share and then we can just answer questions for anybody that's got questions. Right, so the intro class that you're applying for and doing the pre-work for now will start on May 31st. We'll send out notifications of who's been accepted and if you haven't been accepted. So it's not going to be a case like it tends to be for a lot of people who are applying for jobs where you just never hear from the person again. Even people who aren't accepted, we send an email to let you know, here are some additional resources that might get you to the level you need to be accepted. So we'll send all of that information out on May 1st is going to be the day that you'll want to watch your email and see if you've gotten a response from us. It might be late into the evening, Eastern Standard Time hours. I'm on the East Coast in the US and I've got a kid that usually is taking up most of my day. So I sometimes can't get those acceptance letters out until 10 or 11 o'clock in the evening, my time. But so keep an eye out on May 1st is when you'll get notification of whether or not your application's been accepted. And then we'll do student orientation. Usually it's 2 weeks before class starts. So let me look at a calendar quick. All 3 of the classes, the intro and advanced classes, start May 31st for this application round. So your student orientations would likely be the week of May 15th. And once we have nailed down the days and times with your cohort leaders for the classes that you'll be in, then we'll share that information in the acceptance email as far as when the student orientations will be. Any other questions out there? Oh, there was one in the chat for the pre-work assignment about how much time is needed. It varies from person to person, but on average, it's about 15 to 20 hours is how much time you'll spend between now and when it's due on the 23rd to get everything done, get your assignment up to where you want it to be quality-wise, and get it submitted. Oh, one other thing I wanted to show you as far as when you're done with the assignment and ready to submit. So there are links that are on your pre-work assignment at the very, very bottom of your pre-work instruction pages. There are links that'll take you to the submission form. This is what the submission form looks like. So you'll select whether you're applying for the React class as your first choice, the Node class as your first choice, or the Intro to Programming class as your first choice. You'll select your name from the application that you had submitted in, just that way we have your pre-work linked to your application. Put your email in again, so that way we have that for confirmation. And then there are just a couple of questions that you answer. It's just the first 4 questions for advanced students. For the intro students, once you select intro, then there'll be 4 additional questions that you have to answer as far as write an example of a variable, write a function, explain what an array is, that kind of a thing. So you'll just answer those questions. And then here's where you'll put the link to your project. So for example, here's our intro project that we were working on where, I changed a little bit with the code. You'll want to send us the
Hey Mary, are you sharing your screen? Mine is set.
Oh no, yes, yeah, I am screen sharing. Hopefully it'll click over for you in a moment, Henry, and kind of catch up.
All right.
But on the code sandbox, then the address that's up here, it'll say, code sandbox, and then it should have whatever your username is, and then CTD pre-work sandbox, that information. So you'll want to copy and paste that address. You can also copy and paste this address if you want to as well, that it just goes to your animation. So like this is just the animation for this person that had submitted the cloud animation earlier. So you can submit either of those. For those of you who are doing the advanced pre-work, then we'll just need a link to your GitHub repository for where you did your work. So that way we can access it. So you'll just put that link in here, read about paying it forward, and then just sign saying, I did not cheat on this. This is my own work, so on and so forth, and click submit. Questions about the submission process at all? Okay, and I think there were a couple of questions that came in. For the question from Mohammed about, is it encouraged to use other tool stacks for the advanced course assignments aside from JavaScript, HTML, and CSS? It's not encouraged or discouraged. If you are comfortable using other tool stacks, libraries, frameworks to create your site, that's totally fine. You can definitely do that. If you aren't familiar with a lot of those additional sort of bells and whistles, you don't have to be. You can get by just submitting HTML, JavaScript, CSS files in a repository, clean code, functional page, that kind of a thing. One word of advice to everybody, regardless of what you're applying for, is just make sure that what you are wanting us to see is what you're seeing on your page. So for example, if I was working on my project right now and I had written a whole bunch of code to draw a car with a tree and some sunshine or something, and this is what I'm seeing, then I wouldn't submit it until I know that what I was expecting to see was showing up here. So just make sure that your code and your file and your work is demonstrating what you want it to demonstrate to us. If anybody's trying to do anything fancy or advanced with the intro work, as far as like, we've had some students in past application rounds that they have certain images show up only if your computer is within a certain window of time. So if you're having sort of complicated conditionals that depend on a time of day or a time zone that the user is located in or something like that, then just make us aware of that by emailing me or emailing the classes at codethedream.org, because we typically are reviewing these assignments middle of the day, like around lunchtime on Eastern Standard Time. So if you're doing something that we're only going to see the changes in your animation if it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, then it's probably going to get missed. Just wanted to put those couple of things out there. And then let's see here, there were some other questions. I think on the form you can select multiple advanced classes. Yeah, so if you are applying for all 3, you can select all 3. We've had a number of applicants in the past that apply for both and their work is good enough to be accepted to both. And so we just need to know, do you really have the time commitment available to commit to both of the classes, or is there one that you want more than the other? So if you're applying for both, but you really like React or front end work better, then select the React class. If you're more interested in Node backend full stack type of work, then select the Node class, just so that way we know what your primary preference is. We do still, this doesn't overwrite your information from your application. So we do still have on file that you had initially applied for all classes. This just gives us an idea of if you've kind of narrowed it down as to which class you'd really prefer as your first choice. And then let's see here, can I code on my iPad? Is it the same as coding on the computer for Code Sandbox? Yeah, so Code Sandbox is web-based. It's all in your browser. So you should be able to do all of the coding that you need to for the assignment on a tablet, on a Chromebook, on your mobile phone, even if you really needed to or wanted to. All of that should be fairly user-friendly on any device that you're using. So hopefully that helps kind of give you an idea as far as what you need. For classes, you will want to have a computer that has enough memory and enough power to be able to get done what you need to get done for the classes. All of the specifications of what we recommend as far as what kind of computer you have for what classes is available on the codethedream.org/classes page. Scroll down to the frequently asked questions section and it'll have it in there as far as, you know, what equipment do I need or what specifications do I need for those particular classes. Are there any other questions out there that I haven't answered yet so far this evening? Yeah, Carly, go ahead.
Yes, so going off of that, let's say if you have more than one computer, can you put that you use, let's say if you have a PC and a Mac, can you put both devices in the question or just one of them?
Yep, you can put both. So this field, you can put in whatever you need to. It's just like a regular string field. So you can put whatever details that are relevant or helpful, you can enter in there.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Sure. Other questions, or is there anything that anybody would like to see a second time to get a better visual on it or to get a better understanding of it? Yeah, go ahead, Carly.
Yeah, sorry, that's just another quick question. So let's say while we're working on the pre-work, do we have anyone that we could reach out to in Code the Dream to ask for any guidance or in this pre-work, or do we just wait until the next office hours?
Yeah, so you can either come to the next office hours. We intentionally scheduled it on the 22nd, which is the day before when applications are due. So that way, if you have run into any problems, then you still have a little bit of a window of time. And the office hours on that day will be longer. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that'll serve more as like a question and an answer period. So instead of me giving the spiel of this is how to find everything for your pre-work and all of that, it'll be more show up to those office hours and we can help troubleshoot any issues that you're having in those sort of final hours before submission. So you can definitely sign up to attend the one on the 22nd, 2 p.m. Eastern time if you'd like to. You can also email classes@codethedream.org if you're running into any trouble that's going to keep you from progressing at the rate that you need to in order to be done in time. And we'll try and get back to you as quickly as possible. It's just me and one other person that monitor that email, but we'll try and get those answers out to you as quick as possible.
All right, got it. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks, Carly. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording for right now because I think we've covered all of the highlights, but I'm definitely still going to be hanging around for the next 20 minutes. So feel free to start looking through the information if you want to. I'll go ahead and put that pre-work link up in the chat again really quick. So if you haven't taken a look at it yet from your email, go ahead and start looking it over. And if you have questions, then I'm going to be here on the call. So just holler out your questions at me, unmute and ask, or pop them up in the chat. And thank you all for attending tonight. Let me stop recording.